Greetings. As some of you know, my mother now lives with me. And I'm going to tell you the truth. Most of the time, my only goal throughout the day is keeping her happy. Not content, not comfortable, but happy. Why happy? Because she's in a tough spot. My mother has been diagnosed with dementia, and a lot of people end up with parents who have dementia. It can happen to younger people, which I didn't know until this happened and I started doing some research. There are people in their 30s who have the same problem. So I've been reading this book, and one of the things that the lady who wrote the book keeps trying to tell us is that it can't always be worrying about you. You have to worry about them because they're probably in a very hard place. They have trouble with the memory. They see things in their minds that isn't reality now, but was probably reality at some other point. And I thought about this because when I was a director, I didn't think that it was my job to keep my employees happy. It was my job, however, to try to motivate them, to make sure they had all the training they need, all the proper tools they needed, and to be accessible for them to talk to so that if they had any issues and any problems whatsoever, we could work on it together. I also would listen to some of the advice that they actually had when I sometimes asked them, or when they had other problems. You know, you try to put yourself out there. And I thought about that because I think I can go back and look at most of my life where basically I had one of two things. Either one, I was trying to make someone else feel good, or two, I was basically trying to get away from people because I wasn't used to being around all that many people. I was an only child. We traveled a lot. I got used to my own company. You know, when you're reading, it's a solitary thing. And I loved it. I would play sports, and as soon as sports ended, I would go home and I would probably read or do something else just to be by myself. And I recognized, especially when I was playing sports, team sports, that it couldn't always be about me. You know, there was one time when I was playing a baseball game, and I think I was 11 years old, and we had an 8-year-old who had to go into the game because back then they wanted all the kids to play. And so the coach told me to knock over the kid if a ball went his way and don't let him get it. To which, of course, the second time the batter came up, he hit the ball to this kid. And the kid kind of shirked away from the ball, and I just couldn't knock him over. I thought about quite a few things at that time, but I just couldn't knock him over. So he was scared of the ball. The ball fell. I picked it up, threw it into second base. The guy was still safe. Coach was mad. So at the end of that inning, when we finally got out of, I went back with the other kids, and he said to me, "Why didn't you knock that kid over? Why did you let him try to catch the ball?" And I said, well, because one, he's on the team. I felt he deserved to take a chance. And two, his father is there in the stands, and his father is a colonel, and you're a staff sergeant. You know, you better learn your roles. I was not about to knock this kid over just because some staff sergeant told me to knock a kid down. But you have to think about other people every once in a while. Did I want to win? Yes, I always wanted to win. But I recognize during team sports that sometimes you just have to take a chance and let someone else prove, or at least try to prove what they can do. Even if you know you knew they can't, you have to try to boost people up. And I like to think that's what I do now. Now, mom doesn't necessarily have the full capability of understanding all this, so she just takes it all and she's happy, and that makes me happy. I put on movies so mom can giggle. But I have kind of always done that. I'm not necessarily sure that part is the best leadership trait to look to do, you know, trying to keep people happy, but the rest of it definitely is. Making sure that your employees can do everything, make sure your coworkers can trust you enough and feel confident enough to come to you, and you know, your peers. And you know, when I was a director, I had other people. As a consultant, I could walk in and try to dominate everything, but it works so much better if I can work with people and show them how to do stuff so that when I leave, they can take care of it all, and they will think good of me. They will feel better about their jobs because they've learned some other things, and I will sit there and realize, you know what, I've done the best I can for other people. So that's basically today's lesson. Now, I'd like to know what you guys think. Do you think that there should be this kind of symbiosis between happiness and contentment, or happiness and doing the job well. And I have a friend who says if you have to motivate employees, then they're not doing it right. Well, I disagree with that, but let me know your thoughts. My name is Mitch Mitchell. I hope y'all have a wonderful week.